Good morning,
Good morning. Welcome to our daily contemplation. I'm Juna.
Sabine.
We're from Synergy in Motion, where going beyond the ordinary is the thing. And it's about living true to you and honoring what is true to you. Going beyond ordinary, that was one of our taglines way back when. It still is. It's awesome. Going beyond ordinary. And today we're going to be flying with the dragons, doing something really different. And we're looking at the I-Ching, the 39th hexagram of the I-Ching in a series of 6. Today is day 4. And yeah, we're going to look at another aspect of provocation. The 39th gate hexagram gene key is all about provoking and being provoked, and how do you be with that energy, because it is a powerful energy, this root fuel. It's like this blind pressure that just wants to go out and move things. It wants to bring change into the world, and change is mutative, it's unstable, it pops whenever it pops. So it's an unpredictable kind of thing. And how do we be with this energy? And yeah, so we've been talking about it, we've explored it from all different angles, and we'll see what comes out of us today.
And in that exploration we met the dragon, and the dragon energy is really an energy that brings forth change everywhere where there's a stuck energy. It brings forth change. And when you look historically, when in our evolution, that rawness, that raw change was life-threatening a lot of the time. So we tried to tame the dragon, and had to tame the dragon to some extent to evolve, to survive. But the thing is, in the process, we tamed ourselves by going between our ears and
The mind. Wherever the mind lives, the brain.
And in that process we forgot how to tap into our knowing and trust our knowing and follow through with our knowing, and instead we replaced it with knowledge, which is not a bad thing, but at the elimination or at the separating from our own knowing, it doesn't really work, right? So knowledge is that linear 1, 2, 3 that just wants to always confirm status quo, is not really that intuitive, creative energy that brings forth more life. It just confirms it is so. And it's not an energy that flows, that it just describes. And a lot of people are terrified of that raw dragon energy, or I call it a dragon energy, that brings forth that change, because it challenges knowledge and it wakes you up into knowing maybe something else is required, and it gives birth to that urge to provoke, right? To provocation. It can be a quiet provocation, or it can be like raw change needs to happen. And with being afraid of that energy, we either avoid it or we suppress it, but we don't allow us to actually be playful with it. And that's what dragons are. They are very, very playful energies, huge energies, but playful, creative, like, yeah.
And it's, welcoming this energy that's raw. You don't know where it's going to go. You don't know what's going to change in your life. You don't know what's going to change in your body or in your relationship. But welcome this energy. Like, allow yourself to be provoked by life. Allow it to come in, not being afraid of it, meeting it, meeting that energy. It could feel like an obstacle. It'd be, you want to hide from it, but just meet it. And then fly with it. It's not about destroying the dragon. It's not about destroying that energy.
Or taming it.
Or provoking back. If that energy provokes you and it ruffles your feathers, we often lash out and we provoke back, and that just keeps creating the cycle of provocation and violence. As we learned before, the last couple of days we talked about that. So there's a whole new energy that's available when you meet it, and you can fly with it, like surfing the wave, riding the wave, flying with the dragon instead of being scorched by it.
And for me in my life, the first time that I met this energy was when I became aware, way back when I was young, of how humanity as a whole treats the planet and treats each other, and the abuse made me so angry, and the suffering that was created with that. I sometimes was crying with anger. I was, when I saw something on the news or something like that, it just pushed all my buttons, and I was like, oh, I did not know how to sometimes even breathe. That's how angry I was. And I was lucky enough to move to the Fintorn Foundation, which gave me a whole other perspective on living and co-creation. And that really taught me that I don't have to succumb to that energy, but that it can ride with it. I can create with it. I actually had one certain astrologer say to me, hey, you're lucky that you took that route, because otherwise you could have become a very violent terrorist or drown in drugs, because that energy is challenging to be with. But it took me years to really learn to that temperance, to really look, okay, recognizing, okay, this is this energy, and getting all caught up in it and losing myself in it and just tumbling doesn't really create anything different. It might create change, but it doesn't really shift anything, which was also a frustration of mine. It's like, yeah, doing certain things, I didn't feel created enough change. And that was really the birth of the work that we're doing here, really empowering people to be true to themselves, so that you can also ride with the dragons, play with the dragons. Don't become a victim of that raw life energy and dull yourself down. So important, particularly in this time, to wake up your magic and fly free, play. Yeah, not like that is linear. Play, be playful, allow yourself to fly with that energy of provocation.
Yeah, and in human design terms, we have the term today is temperance, and you mentioned that, and it's being temperate with it. And we had in the gene key before, it was moderation. So there's a wisdom in being with this and moderating or tempering your temperament, like tempering the energy. Like you want to lash out, well, there's the art of timing, when to say something, when to move the mountain. Like it's all about that. So tempering it, you have this raw energy, and how do you be with it? Where does it go? When does it need to go? And there's a little bit of holding back, like the stillness, the mountain. There's a little bit of, okay, I'm just going to pause, and then I'm going to go when it's the right time.
And you know that when you are living true to you, that space when you come home to yourself, and that allows you to tap into your knowing, not here in your heart, right, and in your belly. That's the energy that allows you to play with that, and then truly create a difference, not just change. Yeah.
Awesome.
And there's great caring that flies with that as well. Like tapping into your heart, there's so much caring that allows you to be gentle with the rawest energy, even though that's might be a fire breath coming out of you. If it's fed by the heart, by your caring, by your loving, it will always create more and create a difference, not just move one thing over here and then go over it again and again and again.
And there can be a gentleness of the art of provoking, just to gently nudge. The provocation doesn't have to be with a hammer. It can be a gentle tickle. It can be a nudge. It can be a tease, and tease someone into their greatness. It's the gate of flirting. There's this teasing that happens, and that's another energy, a whole energy we haven't even really explored yet, but it shows you the richness of what's available. Provocation in this very gentle, easy way that just tickles the best out of someone.
And that's dragon energy again. When you look at that, tap into that energy of dragons, they have that, like, I don't know how to use words with that, but I'm sure you get it. So just take a moment right now and perceive that which we call the dragon energy. And with that, come home to yourself. That wonderful, magical, amazing being that you are.
The wisdom and the knowing that's there.
Allow yourself to tap into that. Open the floodgates for that knowing and for life to flow through it, through you, making you one of the greatest change agent on the planet by just being you. And perceive that energy when it meets a point where you're a little afraid or you want to hold back or you're very nervous, and meet that. Oh yeah, how much more can you open up for that and not be afraid and just be you in that life energy when it becomes intense, when it becomes raw. You don't have to give you up when it becomes that strong and powerful and raw. You can be you in that rawness, in that messiness, and just allow that dragon energy to burn away all the attachments and all the points of views that hold you into a small self. And allow yourself to fly with the dragons instead of being afraid of them or trying to kill them or tame them. No, fly with them. You can. Yes. Let's be all little big dragons. Woo-hoo. Now that's something to play with for the weekend.
Thank you so much for coming today and flying with us. And yes, may you fly into the weekend by creating a whole new world today with this energy. And we'll see you tomorrow at Synergy in Motion.